This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis, Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett, Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Jordan Gower, and Geof Searles. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Nick and Joyen to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really truly could not do this without you. In this episode, we are talking about Chapter 21 of Knife of Dreams.
That's right. Chapter 21 is Within the Stone.
Okay, I almost forgot.
Yeah, it's not into the stone. It's not like on the way out of the stone. It's within the stone.
Well, no, we are going to get into the stone.
Yeah, we're within it, but we also go into it. But we already had
and
that
I have
chapter.
A bone to pick with Rand.
Okay.
Because he specifically says no one has ever forced their way into the stone except the Aiel. And I was like, wrong. Matt with fireworks. Hello.
He was part of it.
No,
part of it.
no.
Okay.
No, Matt with fireworks is not
different.
Aiel.
Okay.
And
well,
I
also,
wish that Rand would give Matt some credit there.
That's fair, but also, like, a couple of days later, a bunch of Trollocs got into the stone, too, so...
Oh, that is true also. What the heck, Rand? Give credit where credit's due.
Yeah. He's got a lot going on.
Okay, so my other thing I need to talk about is how I don't remember who anyone is, even a little bit.
Okay.
And even going back through my notes, my copious Aes Sedai notes...
Sure.
There are some names here that aren't even in my notebook. So I'm prepared to take some notes.
How many Aes Sedai do you think are in this chapter?
At least one I don't know.
Okay.
Is it Bera? Isn't Bera an Aes Sedai?
Oh, yeah. Okay, you don't remember her?
Not really. Bera and
goodness.
Karuna, I know the names together, but like other than that...
No, that's it.
Need a refresher, but not even... We haven't even heard of her since before Crossroads of Twilight when I started making my notes.
Well, yeah, like when they got sent here.
See,
it's been a minute.
It's a blur. I don't even know what's happening. So I'm ready to take notes as you talk.
Okay.
Because I don't know what's going on. Explain everything to me like I'm 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did that little introduction to the fun fact today.
Okay.
Because we get a little bit of the behind-the-scenes conversation about silk today. Because a couple of guys are arguing about like how silk is made.
Oh, interesting. Silk. I thought you were going to go steam engines.
No. I thought silk. So
I thought you'd be so excited about the steam engines.
This isn't the first time we've literally seen the evolution of the steam engine.
We saw it being created. Did you do a fun fact about it then?
Maybe. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyways, I chose silk, and there's no time for this.
Okay, sorry.
So one of the guys says, yeah, it comes from worms, and the other guy says, no, it comes from trees. And now we've actually seen this scenario play out quite a few times. And in Randland, silk is made in Shara, which is more or less China. So I wanted to do a little bit of digging and finally piece a few things together all about silk.
Okay.
So first off, yes, silk does come from worms.
Yes.
But I actually didn't have any idea like how silk is actually made. So here's a short and like simplified version of how silk is made. It's kind of weird. It's kind of crazy.
We need Kaylee.
Maybe. This is all about the before stuff before it like turns into fabric here.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
First off, you've got silk moths. They lay eggs on prepared paper. Then the eggs hatch and silkworms are fed mulberry leaves. Like from a mulberry tree. A.k.a. mulberry bush.
Yeah.
It's actually a tree.
All around the mulberry bush.
Yeah, but it's a tree. And I tried to look up, like,
I
Googled.
Chase the weasel.
You got it.
Yeah.
So you should look at my search history because it's like mulberry bush and mulberry tree. Same question
yeah.
mark? Just like goes off for
That's
too
good.
many searches. And I'm pretty sure they're the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
okay.
After about a month, the silkworms are big enough that they start to spin a cocoon. And then after about 2 days, the caterpillar spins about a mile of filament and is encased in the cocoon. Then the cocoons are heated up to kill the caterpillar, and then some are left to breed the next generation of caterpillars. And then the cocoons with the dead caterpillar inside are soaked in boiling water to soften the silk fibers, holding the shape together of the cocoon. And then the fibers are unwound to create thread, and then 3 to 10 strands are spun together to form a single thread of silk.
That sounds gross.
Yeah, so a lot of animal rights activists are like, stop doing it this way, because there actually is an alternative way to not do it, but it's
It also sounds about as gross as leather.
Exactly.
So let's be real.
It's not great. Yeah. Anyways, but that's not the point. So the interesting thing is, according to legend, the Chinese Empress Lai Zhu discovered this process and created the first silk loom in about the 27th century BCE. So a long time ago. And according to the story, Lai Zhu was having afternoon tea and a cocoon fell into her tea and she watched as it slowly unraveled and the silk thread emerged. And then she persuaded her husband, the emperor, to give her a grove of mulberry trees so she could domesticate the worms. So I think what RJ is doing is a play on the, silk comes from worms, no, it comes from trees, is because there's actually a lot of old Roman accounts that stated that silk came from trees, which is not exactly true because the silkworms would be harvested on the trees. So someone who doesn't know what they're looking at would actually think it might come from the mulberry trees itself. But in fact, it's from the worms on the trees. So you need like really specific processes to make the silk.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Right.
There you go.
And now, not all silk is made that way today, is it?
The majority, yeah.
Really?
Like almost all of it. There is a process where you don't have to kill the worms, but like most of it is the exact same process.
Well, that's true. I get it.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like faux silk.
Yeah, but like not silk. So.
Like manufactured.
Not silk.
Not silk.
Not silk.
Kind
I don't know the
like
process.
Leather.
I don't know the process for that.
Not leather.
Didn't look it up. This actually isn't a silk podcast.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah. At this point, you might not be sure. But...
Well, if I get any information about silk clothing from Kaylee, I'll plug it in here.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, so exciting news because Kaylee came through for us, and I want to say that it is time for Clothing Queries with Kaylee.
Silkworms are the caterpillars of the Bombicity moth family. The silkworm moths that I've seen are very cute, fuzzy white moths with fat bodies and small wings. That particular breed can't really fly, so they're sometimes raised in shoeboxes. We use the cocoons of a handful of silkworm species in order to make silk fabric. The traditional and still most common method of getting the silk out of the cocoon is to boil it with the silkworm still inside, because that allows the cocoon to unravel as a single thread, which then can be woven as is or spun into thread or yarn before use. Another option is to boil the cocoon after the silkworm has become a moth and hatched. In this case, the silk is generally spun into a yarn or thread before being made into fabric because the moth leaves a hole in the cocoon as it leaves, preventing it from being taken apart as a single thread. The boiled cocoons are often stretched, starting at the moth hole into caps or fully flattened into what we call hankies. They can also be combed into long lines of fluff called roving. At fiber arts fairs, we often see beautifully dyed silk caps, hankies, or roving that we can then spin into yarn. Unlike wool, silk is slick and therefore must be spun into very fine yarn in order for it to hold together. Because silk is so slippery and lightweight, it tends to have a nice shine and beautiful drape, making it ideal for fancy clothing like cocktail dresses. Coarser silk fabrics can be a bit stiffer, but still shiny, and work well as drapery, tablecloths, or for ball gowns that have more structure. It's also been used for less fancy items like parachutes and maps in World War II because it's lightweight, strong, and can be folded very small. The main downside of silk is that it is very fragile when it gets wet. It's prone to water stains and must be cleaned very carefully. I've always found it strange that the sea folk wear silk because they're around water all the time. It would make more sense to wear linen, which gets stronger when wet, just in case, but I guess they have their reasons. Basically, silk is a durable fiber as long as it's kept dry and can be processed into a variety of fabrics, making it useful for many different applications. Its shine and ability to be dyed with bright colors makes it an eye-catching fabric for fancy clothing, upholstery, and even flags.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sending that in for us, Kaylee. Now, are we ready to get into this chapter?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, so chapter 21 is called Within the Stone, and the chapter symbol is the Aes Sedai symbol.
Yeah, all right.
So we are going to enter in our Rand perspective because last perspective we had at the end of last chapter was Nynaeve.
Yes.
And her very emotional...
The glorious Golden Crane chapter.
Yeah,
it is
glorious.
Yeah.
It was good. But now here we are with Rand riding into Tyr. And I was like, why? Within the stone, why are we going to the Stone of Tyr right now?
Gotta make a couple of stops.
Because I thought we were going to meet 2 on somehow.
In like 3 days.
I know. Oh, I guess we just zip-zap there, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, we got to travel there. No, literally.
Yeah, no, it's just
capital T travel.
Traveling, yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So we got to stop at the Stone of Tyr.
We have so much time. We have all the time.
Oh my god, 3 full days.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's good.
Yeah. Although Rand has been here.
Well, it's like the next day now, so.
I know, but how long did it take Rand? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah.
So we also learned that they did stop at Stedding Shanghai this morning.
Yeah, they dropped off the Ogier.
Okay. Bye, Loyal.
They're not here, all
See
of
ya.
them. Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Well, Loyal's got to go talk to the stump.
Clearly.
Right?
About not beaming
to their spaceship. Yeah, you got
up to the spaceship.
Exactly. I have to go to my home planet now.
Yeah. Okay, you're going to like this too, because when we talked about that Ogier thing last time,
Sure.
you tried to bring up the elves from Middle-earth.
Oh, yeah,
You
okay,
did.
I did.
You were like, this is kind of like that. It's less like, oh, aliens going to another planet, and more like the elves leaving to go
Middle-earth.
wherever the hell they go.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you can't say that. I'm not taking another shot. We were
Right.
sick. I was like, nope, sorry.
Oh, yeah, so
I
now
don't
I'm
care.
perfectly healthy.
I know. Well,
Okay.
you sound better. Like we're on the mend.
You'll notice that when I laugh, I'm also coughing.
Yeah, we're pausing quite a bit.
Okay.
We're editing out the coughs.
Yeah, most of it.
However, I do have to credit you for that one because we had a comment of somebody saying, it's not really like aliens. It's more like the elves in leaving Middle-earth.
Okay,
and
okay,
I was
that's
like,
fair. Yep.
okay. Brett did try to say that.
You said no, don't do that.
And I told him that it didn't matter and he didn't have to say it because I didn't want to take a shot. And now...
Oh, now we're going to take a shot.
Now we'll take a shot for it because you were right and I should have just let you say it.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah, we should have done like an IOU shot or something,
Yeah.
I should just let you talk when you want to talk. That's what a podcast is about.
The people would have no idea how much stuff you actually cut out from what I say. It's amazing.
It's so much. Okay. Well, okay. Hold on. Okay, so we're back.
All right.
Cheers to you and your facts. People want to hear them, apparently.
Cheers.
Okay. Okay, where were we?
Yeah, the beginning. We haven't started yet.
Oh,
so.
my God. All right.
Well, we're like a sentence in here, so.
Okay, that's true. There's so much description of getting into Tyr.
Oh, yeah. Like pages of what to... We haven't been to Tyr in a long time.
Pages and pages. And the gist is we're going to walk through Tyr and the guards are gone.
Well, okay, so
There's
here's
a
the
lady living in the guardhouse.
No, you skip too much. See, that's the issue. Is that you skip too much in the too much description, and now you don't know what's going on.
Okay.
So currently, Tyr is under siege by the rebels. So we've got Darlin and like the good guys inside the Stone of Tyr and like the surrounding little area.
Okay.
But then the rebels...
And you're going to tell me who Darlin is?
Yeah, Darlin is the guy. Remember when Rand had a couple of notes and one was supposed to go to someone and the other one was supposed to go to somebody else? And you actually guessed that Darlin was supposed to be the guy who was going to become King of Tyr.
Well, that's because of Min's
viewing said
right?
you're going to be king of somewhere. And then
and
Rand
I
was
said
like...
Tyr.
Yeah, and Rand said, yo, go be my steward in Tyr.
Right.
And then you were like, oh...
That's the King of Tyr.
That's going to be the king. That makes sense. Now, Darlin's also the guy who is...
Was he there when Rand was stabbed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's also dating Caroline Damodred.
Right.
That's the whole Moraine connection there. And we get a little bit of a shock value there from Rand seeing Caroline again, being like, whoa, she looks like Moraine.
Right.
But it's not Moraine.
Not Moraine.
Okay. Anyways, the outside area of Tyr is currently under the control of the rebels. So when Rand enters the city, he's like, kind of weird. There's no guards. Like, they're sieging Tyr, the stone, but they're not really guarding. And then even when he gets closer, they're kind of just like hanging out. Because it's like a siege, but it's not really like a very active siege because the Aes Sedai are currently in the middle of negotiations to end the siege.
And that's what Rand sent Alana to do?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Am I remembering
yes,
that?
Yes, you're right. But also keep in mind that like the rebels who are sieging Tyr are also like Terrans, so they don't want to like go and murder all the people in Tyr.
No, they just don't want Rand to be the guy.
They just don't want Rand to be the guy. That's literally the point. So it's like a very like non-violent siege that's going on right now. And that's why Rand doesn't want to try to go through the rebels to get into the stone because he's like, oh, I shouldn't murder all these people.
Right.
But he's not. He's like a little bit close. But he doesn't. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do it. Okay. So that's why he has to go get a hotel room that's within sight of the stone so he can like...
So he can gateway into the stone.
Into the stone, exactly.
No, he's going to like a hotel in Tyr, not in the stone.
Yeah, no, he's in a hotel in Tyr,
Yeah.
but within sight of the stone, so he can see it.
Within sight.
Within sight
I
of
thought
the
you
stone.
said inside of the
Oh,
stone.
within sight, he can
Within
see.
Sight.
He can see.
So he can.
So he can jump there.
Got it.
All quick like with
'Kay.
traveling. So in and amongst
Okay.
all that description,
Mm-hmm.
there's even more description of what Tyr looks like because we haven't been here for a long time.
Yeah.
And you might not remember.
Yeah. Streets are muddy.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. There's meat pies.
Oh.
So
I just made some of those.
Yeah, you did.
For those who
For the
aren't
show.
keeping up with the show episodes,
You make a thing.
I make food for us to watch the show episodes, and I just made some pasties.
Yeah. Oh my
Some
goodness.
meat pies.
Can we just like have that every?
I did such a good job.
Oh yeah, I know.
Those were so good. I was so surprised.
Who knew?
Turns out.
Who knew?
Oh, loved it.
I mean, these guys because like
They
they're
knew.
on every street corner.
They
know.
knew, yeah.
They know.
Yeah. I think the filling makes it. Because I have a good pie crust recipe. I just used that, and then I just shoved a good filling in there. So
Yeah.
good.
Also, okay, not food podcast either.
No.
Now we got to
Sorry.
talk about this chapter.
I'm just don't
I know
care.
you don't want to, but
I mean, tell me more about Tyr.
okay, well, not about you. Let's talk about Rand because
Oh,
he's not trying to hide himself really because he's like, whoa, if they were able to find me in Lord Algaren's manor, then what's the point of trying to hide now? And it's also like, hey, Rand, you're not really hiding because you literally have a bunch of maidens defending you here too.
Yeah.
And the maidens are trying to be like, oh, we don't know this guy.
We're just walking along.
Yeah,
we
it's
just
like,
happen
no.
to be out this street.
Clearly, this is the guy.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the other thing I do want to talk about is that Min, Olivia, and Nynaeve are all here together, and
Well, so
there
is
is
Cadswin,
still
yeah.
a lot of contention between those three specifically.
Yeah.
And then Nynaeve is here without Lan, and a little later, Rand thinks to himself that Nynaeve must know where Lan is, but she's not telling me.
Yeah, which is totally fair.
And Lan took off, didn't tell Rand.
Yeah.
So,
He's got different missions. Not important.
well, I feel like even being like, I'm going now, would have been
Yeah.
kind of courteous.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But then also,
Yeah.
you don't want to take... It's kind of like Varen leaving. You don't want Rand to be like, no, I need you here, when
Well,
Lan wants to do his own
I
thing.
think that Lan could have just been like, yo, I'm going.
Yeah,
Bye.
like courtesy, I'm letting you know.
Exactly.
I'm not asking
and
for
I don't
permission.
think that Rand would argue with Lan, of all people, you know? He's sort of pseudo-father right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, keep in mind, too, Lan's whole mission was like, I'm going to go by myself into the Blight and then just die.
Right.
Bad plan.
That was a bad plan.
Yeah. Don't let Lan make plans.
That's true. But yeah, okay. I can understand maybe why he didn't tell Rand. Okay, fine.
Anyways.
All right. So
Okay.
now a bunch of pigeons are going to crash into each other in the sky.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole Taviran thing. We haven't seen it for a little while, but also Rand hasn't really been in a lot of big cities for a long time. Like, we haven't really paid attention
This reminds me of like book 3, making people get married and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the whole balance of stuff.
It's like,
but
oh,
also,
Rand's been here.
don't skip it. Don't skip it.
Oh.
Rand hears the big rackety clatter, clickety whistling. Woo woo.
Oh, the steam train.
The steam engine coming.
Steam wagon.
Yeah. It's like he hears it now, but he doesn't see it yet.
Oh.
But right away, he's going to see it.
He's gonna see it.
It's so exciting.
Ooh. Okay, well, I'm talking about all the pigeons that crash into each other in the sky
Yeah.
and then fall down.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then people start like clubbing them because like that's food.
Start breaking their necks, not
Yeah.
clubbing them. Picking them up,
Break your necks.
breaking
Yeah,
their necks.
there you go.
Yeah.
Boom.
And then I like how Luce Theron is like, well, I'm Taviran.
Right.
And Round's like, you're dead. I'm Taviran. Like, fuck you.
Same. You know, that's who are we really arguing with?
I don't know. I like Luce Theron again. Except don't let him have the power.
Just let him do commentary.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I like the commentary.
Okay.
I like when he's like, why do I have a madman in my head? That's my favorite. It's like, you're the madman.
Yeah.
You're the madman in his head.
I also like because in a little bit in this chapter, he also starts going off of like taxes and like how to run an economy.
I
And
know.
Rand's like,
and
"Hey,
Rand's
boring."
like, boring.
Don't I
I'm
hear
not
that?
taking economy 101. Like, no thanks. Economics.
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh yes, this is the whole steam horse, steam engine
Yeah.
thing that happens.
Yeah, and we got two little dirty barefoot kids who are going to comment on all this for
Love
us to
those
like know
dirty
what's going on.
barefoot kids.
Yeah, it's really good. It's also kind of sad because it's sort of hinted at that Min sees a viewing of them just like getting
Died.
dying. Yeah.
Getting dead.
But anyways, before that happens, we get the whole, hey, it's not a steam horse, it's a steam wagon. And apparently it's been here like 10 times. and there's 4 of these steam engines that get hitched together, and they pull 100 wagons all the way from Chiron, and they cover 100 miles a day. And another kid's like, no, it's 6 together, and they pull 50 wagons, but they go more than 100
and
miles.
Ron's like, doesn't matter. That's super cool.
Well, it's really funny because we actually originally saw this in Lord of Chaos when he started the school.
In the academy.
And the invention was like a little thing on a table, and Ron was like, what's that? And then Master Pole was like, it's going to be good one day. And then in Winter's Heart, we saw that Master Pole had made like big improvements, and it was starting to chug along the street.
But then it would go poof and die.
Exactly. But Rand was like, whoa, amazing. And that was right when we discovered traveling. And we were like, Rand, you can capital T travel across the world.
Even this, it's like, amazing. And it's like, well, okay. I guess for non-channelers, you know?
I mean, it's really good. And also, you can't just like this is a good way to transfer goods.
Although, I do think that Elaine is doing a pretty good job utilizing gateways to bring wagons of food into where she is.
Yeah, I mean, she's expending a lot of resources with people who are pretty powerful who could be doing something else.
You don't think a steam engine carrying a train of stuff isn't like expending resources?
Well, like magic, magic people.
Well, the thing about that is, though, if you have a siege, it's going to get cut off.
Exactly.
You can't steam engine into Camelin.
Depends how fast the train's moving.
Pull down everybody in their way. You know what? Yeah, actually. Yeah. You try and stop a train.
Exactly, right?
Can't.
I would just put it through there you go.
Just put it through the people who are sieging. Oh my gosh. Okay, what kind of podcast is this?
A podcast of good ideas.
Oh my god. Okay, so Nynaeve has had enough waiting around.
Right, yeah, she doesn't want to be doing this either.
And then there's all this weird stuff happening. It's all the balance, the good stuff and the bad stuff.
Yeah. Well, he knows it's all going to balance out because, like, a boy trips and falls, and then, like, his loaf of bread is all standing on end. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Guy tumbles out a window because he's drinking too much. And
he's fine. Then someone else just, like, dies.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
We don't see it, but, like, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all happening again.
Yeah, and then we get a whole recap on the Stone of Tyr.
Right.
And now, on a positive note, we see that there is the Banner of the Light...
Yeah.
Or the dragon banner flying above the stone with the Tyr flag.
Yes, which is good, because that means that Darlin is clearly showing off his allegiance with Rand.
Okay. And Rand is aware that Alana is inside the stone. He can feel her, but then ever since the bonding with Elaine, Avienda, and Min, the bond with Alana has been like weaker or like pushed to the side.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Which is also, I mean, remember what happened to Alana when...
Oh, she passed out for 3 days.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now we do get like a little tidbit here that he can sense that Alana has started moving. As soon as he like arrived in Tyr, she starts moving. And he assumes that she's going to go to Darlin to be like, hey, Rand just showed up in the city. Now, she does allegedly, like, she goes to where Darlin is, but she doesn't say anything.
Uh-huh.
Kind of sneaky. We can talk about that later.
We'll get there later.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, this is where we get a bit of the explanation that he does see a bunch of, like, there's hundreds of soldiers in the city, but they're kind of just, like, lounging around. They're not really sieging. They're just kind of being here to prevent access. So this is where Rand thinks, oh, I could murder all of them and just, like, go in, but I shouldn't do that.
Okay, restraint.
That's good.
Go Rand.
Yeah.
Good for you being reasonable.
Everyone's so hard on him, and I'm like, hey, didn't murder a bunch of people.
Good one.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to an inn. That's
exactly.
called...
Yeah.
The Dragon.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the description of the sign for the inn.
Uh-huh. It's painted like the creatures on Rand's forearms, except they have wings.
Yeah, and he's like, wings?
Yeah. Oh, those look like those Shan-Chen flying beasts. My dragons don't have wings. Crazy.
Yeah, I know, which is like really funny because, you know, dragons.
Because of dragons,
it's pretty good. It's like a fun little tidbit.
Okay, and then this is where we get the whole conversation about silk.
Yes. Yeah, this is important too because
the only important thing is that one of the guys who's talking about the silk has a Shan-Chen accent.
Exactly. Yes, that is the important part of this conversation. But then Rand's like, what are they doing here in Tyr? And it's like, planning to invade, man.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
What do you think? Yeah.
They're everywhere.
They are scouting.
They want
100%.
They want to take over everything.
Yes.
That's their game plan.
Uh-huh. And Rand's like, no.
Amazing.
Can't.
Yeah.
This is mine.
Don't. Well, Olivia also picks up on the accent.
Yeah.
They don't catch them, though. Guy
Nope.
slips out.
Nope, nothing exciting happens at all.
Yeah.
Nothing at all exciting happens.
Nothing. It's a lot of filler.
Oh my god, it's all filler, actually.
But without the filler, you wouldn't know anything about silkworms, so you're welcome.
I feel like you would tell me anyway.
I might. Now, do you want to talk about the fact that Rand wants the biggest room, but it's already occupied, so then someone has to get kicked out? Because Cadsuan's like, yo, you should probably pay for the room, and then you can get the biggest room.
Uh-huh.
And
it's
fine.
like literally like not even for them to sleep in.
Yeah.
Like so rude. Like just use the stable.
Well, he needs to see, he wants to open up a gateway and everybody inside. And...
Yeah, still seems rude.
Well, okay, but it's also like a little bit sad of why he wants the biggest room too.
But he's not going to sleep there.
Well, no, but he's going to get like super PTSD like immediately, even in the biggest room.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh my god, I'm in a box, I'm caged in.
Which is interesting because like he was in bedrooms in the manor house.
Apartments, like big. This isn't like, yeah.
Okay.
The manor house, like a big countryside mansion.
Okay, so that whole time he was never in a room smaller?
Possibly. Not with a lot of people. I mean, it's not definite, but it's like a maybe.
Anyway, all this really is for us, like we don't have to go into it and psychoanalyze.
Sure.
But this is a reminder for us that Rand is struggling and also Lews Therin is struggling.
Yeah, well, it's like a literal description of like panic attack is setting in.
Panic attack.
Like
yeah.
the chest is tightening
the walls
and
are
he can't breathe. And,
hard time breathing. Lews Therin is like, the box! I have to get out of the box!
It's like, hold on, man.
And then Rand is trying to keep his eye on the windows, looking towards the stone so that he doesn't think about the walls. And now Rand is going to take hold of the source, but this time Lews Therin does not get it. He's distracted.
Awesome. Yep, that's good.
But the face of the man from Shatter Logoth does float up in Rand's head.
Yeah.
And the guy seems super angry and then also aware of Rand in the moment.
Yeah, so that's like bad. So then we're getting like every time Rand channels, then Moradin can sense him.
And see like where he is?
Well, he might like...
Because is that
it's
how
like
we're
GPS.
thinking that the Trollocs found Rand in the first place?
We don't know. Like
because I would like that to make sense. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm looking for logic.
Yeah.
In a place where I don't think logic exists.
Not all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't necessarily seem like it's a GPS locator. Like, even if he can sense where he is, like, what does that really mean? He's not like, oh, I recognize that hotel room from Tyr. Like, Moradin's not gonna... That's not a thing.
Well,
right?
maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Why would he...
Because who knows?
I've been into...
Who knows how any of this actually
I've been to
works?
every hotel room in the world, and that's not one of them.
It might not be that. It'll be like, kind of like the Bond. Like, I sense he's to the east.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like that.
Okay, I get that.
Like, the magic in this world is wonky and weird. So,
Sure.
like, why wouldn't this also be weird?
Sure. No, I get that. I'll give that to you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Anyways, no answer for you now.
Dude's angry.
Yeah.
Probably because that crazy Trolloc attack didn't work.
Yeah. And now Rand's in his head, and it's like, what's going on?
Uh-huh. Yeah. But Rand just ignores it and is like, okay, everybody, here's a gateway.
We don't have time for that. Now, we do get a little bit of a piece about the prophecies here. So, remember that prophecy that said, who draws it out shall follow after?
Nope.
Okay, well, that was a prophecy, and Rand put a lot of thought into it, and he thought long and hard before setting Narishma to retrieve Kalendor for him. Mm-hmm. So, presumably, Rand thinks that the who draws it out shall follow after. He sent Narishma because that means that after he gets Kalendor, basically Narishma is going to be following Rand, like in loyalty and everything. It's kind of like a weird interpretation.
Oh, see, when I hear that, I think it's like, oh, after I'm dead, you follow in my footsteps.
And it also might be that. But Rand thinks like,
it's
oh,
like physically...
prophecies, Narishma, follow me, good. But if you recall, Narishma was super pissed after the whole Kalendor thing.
Oh, yeah, because he didn't tell him everything he had to know.
Exactly.
He almost
was like, what's up?
dead.
And then Rand was like, no, I'm pretty sure I told you everything.
So many people in this episode almost got dead.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, once the gateways opened up, the maidens leap through the opening, and Olivia jumps through right after them, and then Rand follows, and they enter right into the heart of the stone.
Yeah.
And this is where Rand had driven Kalendor into the floor back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
And after everyone is through, Rand closes the gateway, but he doesn't let go of the power because he doesn't want to give Lews Therin a chance to get it from him if he needs to channel again. Yeah. So he's just going to hold on to it even though he's so super nauseous.
Well, that usually hits, the wave hits immediately, but then he can handle it.
We get it throughout this whole thing that he's like super nauseous and also really irritable.
Yeah.
And he's like, the nausea isn't helping.
Sure.
How I'm just annoyed at everybody all the time.
Yeah.
Like, he says that several times.
He does. It's just like there is a stronger initial wave to all that. And it seems like it feels bad, but it seems like he can hold it in and he can bear it while he's holding
Sure, it's just also affecting how he's interacting with people. So I think that's a pretty big deal.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have tried to put all of the taint through him in the cleansing. He channeled all of the taint.
Is that when that started?
I mean,
no, I thought that was started way before then.
It did. It just got amplified after the cleansing. Since like end of Winter's Heart. Oh yeah, it's like it's stepped up a little bit.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, if you say so.
Yeah, we've got a lot of characters who are commenting on the fact that like Rand is doing worse.
Oh, okay. Well, Luce Theron is like, hey, listen, bud, you gotta trust me. If we're gonna make it to Tarmangaiden so we can die, you have to trust me.
Yeah.
And then Rand is like, you told me once not to trust anyone, including you. And then Luce Theron is like, only madmen trust no one.
Yeah.
Oh, why do I have a madman in my head? I was waiting for it. I knew it came up.
It's good.
It's my favorite.
It's always good when the madman in your own head starts saying, no, trust me, bro.
Yeah. Well, and this is the situation where I'm like, I think we can trust him.
Boys got to stick together.
Well,
yeah.
He keeps on bringing up the thing where he's like, we can die at Tarmangaiden, you said. And he seems to trust Rand on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
And he obviously senses it's coming soon.
See, but like, I also don't like your opinion because you're all in favor of Rand dying. You want him to die. So
only at Tarmangaiden saving the world.
You want it, but
I don't want him to just like die tomorrow.
You're on LTT side with the whole dying thing.
Tarmangaiden is tomorrow.
Tarmangaiden is always. It's all around us all the time.
Oh my gosh. No, it's not.
The world's ending, man.
Okay.
Climate change almost killed us in like book 8. It's like you're not even paying attention. What was that?
Good thing Cloud Bowl exists.
Phew.
Phew. Love that plotline. Okay. All right. So I think this is a good place to take a break before we really get into the meat of the stone.
The good stuff. Oh,
the real good stuff.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Okay.
We'll be right back. All right, so we're back, and we are in the heart of the stone, and there's a few guys on duty, and then they recognize Rand, and they're like, oh my god, we're here, because you told us to be here, and Rand is like...
Well, Rand's like, why are you here? And they're like, you told us to be here.
And he's like, I'm sure I did not.
I would
and I'm like,
never.
Rand, yeah, you fucking did. Like, I'm...
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Of course you did. Well, because he was like, guard calendar, but the calendar was gone.
Yeah, and they're like, well... We stand here anyway.
Like that wasn't actually,
yeah.
That wasn't in the terms of like what your job is.
I'm sure it like might have been though.
I mean, maybe
it's how they interpreted it. It's like stand here.
Yeah.
Guard here.
Yeah, I'm taking that guard duty all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guarding nothing for nobody.
Yeah, but can we talk about corridors changing?
Ghost hallways. Yeah.
Wow,
exactly.
not just Camelin.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Which is bad. It's bad because Rand's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense because if it loosens too much, like the pattern.
Okay, so here's what I want to think.
Okay.
So Rand here is narrating for us what this actually means. Like we've been speculating in Camelin what it might mean, and then Rand is basically telling us, the reader, that for sure this is the pattern loosening and the Dark Ones touching the world. But I want to assume that Rand knows this from all of that stuff he was reading or something like that, because my other instinct is like, how do you know that? Like, this is such a specific thing.
Can I maybe give you an alternative answer?
Sure.
So he's got this crazy guy from like 3,000 years ago in his head who knows a whole bunch of stuff.
We hear everything he says. Luce Theron doesn't say this. Rand says this.
Sometimes Rand just knows things that Luce Theron knows. We've been over this before. Like,
but okay, no, I don't think so, because by the time Luce Theron became Volcano, I would say
that was like after the war, like the War of the Shadow and like the War of Power took place over a long time. We don't know exactly how long it was between Luce Theron like sealing the bore and when he went crazy and turned into a volcano. We don't actually know the timeline very well on that right now. So
because that's the other thing. I'm like, how much does Luce Theron even really know about what's going on here with this whole Tarmangaiden thing? Yeah,
well, and I mean, that's the point. But he does think, like Rand thinks, the Dark One's touching the world more than he has since the War of the Shadow. So you have to wonder, like, during the War of the Shadow, when the Dark One was getting free, did we have all these weird things happening then, too, that Aes Sedai, who knew a lot more stuff about stuff, maybe were like, oh, this meant, like, this is why.
Well, yeah.
So maybe some of that is coming across.
Somebody, I think it maybe was Varen, at one point who was like, oh, the ghosts mean this,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
And it's like, okay.
And like maybe Rand did research because he does research a lot of stuff, but he does narrate that if it happens too much, then the age lace might unravel, and that means an end to reality and the creator, and like it doesn't matter, like all of creation, it's all gone. Yeah. So Rand thinks I need to bring around the last battle before that happens. So like before it gets too bad, I need to start the last battle, but I'm not ready to do that yet.
Okay.
Not yet. So Rand has a couple things on his checklist to do before he initiates the last battle.
Well, doesn't he always, though, you know?
Well, I mean, we don't exactly know what his checklist is, but I asked you a long time ago, like, what's on the checklist?
Mm-hmm.
What do we got to do before Tarman Gaiden? What do we have to fit? Number one, also, Shanshin, we got to deal with him.
Well, in Rand's mind,
list.
it's the uniting the East and the West and the North and the South.
Well, and we know why, because he asked the question in the doorway to Rangarel, like, how do I survive the last battle? Like, how do I win and survive?
Yeah.
And you got to bring it all together.
That's what they say.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, Catswin has a snippy mom moment where she's like, it's not good when too many people jump at your word. And I'm like, yeah, it actually is. That's good. He's literally the Dragon Reborn.
Rand's also like, you're saying this? You're telling me?
Exactly. It's so hypocritical. It's stupid. And don't even get me started on later when she literally spanks him.
Oh, yeah.
I was furious. I was driving and listening to it.
You didn't like it?
You're
like, I'm going to crash this fucking car.
You know, Catswain, it's been a long time since the end of Winter's Heart, and you are declining severely.
Well, maybe Rand's declining because Rand is literally having fits of rage.
I don't care.
But also...
I don't care. I honestly don't care.
Can I...
She can't just scold him like a child in front of people.
Let me give you like an alternate, like just another viewpoint, just to maybe push you just like in a nudge in the different direction. Catswain is making Rand check himself on his fits of rage. Like maybe she realizes that he can't control his rage, but he needs to try. He's going crazy, but he needs to try to hold his shit together.
I think that there's a very diplomatic way to say things in a meeting with a bunch of other high-powered people that does not include spanking somebody in front of others.
How many people actually saw that?
That is so demeaning. It is so terrible, and I hate it.
Nobody can see the weaves, though. Like, did they actually see?
All the guys that I know.
Well, I mean, they did.
And Rand literally, like, jumps and holds his butt, probably.
He's like, whoa.
Relief. For, like, realistically, it makes me so mad. Okay.
So you didn't like it.
No, you can't knock him down 18 pegs in front of the people
Rand
that
checks
he's
his rage,
leading.
Though. Like, he does hold it in.
100%. Yes, I understand that she does have a role to play here.
Sure.
And her role is correct. Her instincts to help him check himself are correct. The methods are horrendous.
Okay.
That's my point. And we can talk about it a little more when we get there, but...
No, I like it.
I forgot that made me so mad.
Yeah, I can tell.
I don't even know where I am in my notes. Okay.
Rand basically is thinking to himself, people need to listen to me because if they don't, then the world ends.
Yeah, well, that's my point.
Yeah. I mean, I also agree. Like, I wish everyone listened to Rand.
Yeah.
He's doing a pretty good job.
He's doing fine.
Like, for the most part.
He's doing fine as far as fine goes, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Better than most.
Yeah. Now, advisor, good. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But, like, grandmother with a wooden spoon or in a strap, like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Rand and crew are going to head through the hallways, and we get more recap on the stone and how it's designed to be defensive. And this is where he's like, basically only the Aiel have ever stormed in here. Yeah. And I'm like, no, dummy.
Well, he thinks about how basically traveling in the Ashmat have made the
fortress obsolete.
A little bit, but it's also like, no, because we now do have confirmation that Shadowspawn can't go through gateways. So there's actually like a lot of reasons why having defensive fortifications is still really important.
Yeah, but we can still get Forsaken in here.
Sure, like literally just Forsaken.
We can still get enemies.
We can, just not Shadowspawn en masse without like through traveling through gateways.
That's true.
So
yeah,
that's like a pretty big win in my books.
Okay, so Rand is going to follow his bond with Alana because he assumes that she's with Darlin.
Yeah, and he's right, but not the fact that she said
yeah, not for the right reasons.
So, yeah.
So we're going up through the stone, and then finally he knows that Alana is on the other side of this door, and once we're inside, we get even more description of literally everything.
Yeah, we got to take it all in. It's been a while.
Okay, so what's interesting here actually is that Alana apparently did not warn anyone that he was coming, and inside this room, Alana is talking with Darlin.
No.
Oh, one of the High Lords?
Yes,
A different
it's
High
a
Lord.
new guy. We've never met him before.
Oh my god. Okay, good. Because I'm like, oh my god, what's happening here? Okay.
Now I see
I'm
that
ready.
you're
I'm ready
preparing
with
to
my
write his
notes.
name down. So
Yeah.
High Lord Astaril Damara.
Oh, jeez.
Now, we've never met this guy before. He seems to have some respect for Rand and also Cadsuane, which is pretty big considering Tyr doesn't really like Aes Sedai very much.
Right.
And he's old and he's here now, so
He's
it's cool.
old,
Yeah.
and he's here. Okay.
And like of all the High Lords that you're taking notes on,
well, I kind of feel like, you know how I was taking notes on all those minor nobles in Camelin?
never know when they're gonna pop up.
Honestly,
Yep.
because seriously, this guy's name, you're telling me it's never going to come up again? I don't believe you.
Yeah, this
I'm gonna
guy's
be like,
actually
who the hell is
Ravine.
this?
Come back. Yeah, no, it's this is the guy.
No, of anybody. Of course it's not Ravine. He was Balefire to shit.
Asmodean. That's the
there
guy.
you go. That's
Boom.
the
There
guy.
you go.
Of
Figured it out.
right. They could be.
Totally.
Samael,
Sure.
come
No,
back.
I thought okay.
Yep.
Totally. Lots of options.
Lots of options. We don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Literally no clue.
Yes. Okay. Anyways.
We haven't had a Forsaken breakdown or a Forsaken wrap-up or a Forsaken meeting in way too long.
A long time,
I
yeah.
don't even know what they're doing. I
Yeah.
forgot their names even. I don't
Right.
even know what's happening.
Who knows?
I don't.
Name 13 of them. I couldn't.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Jeez.
freaking right now.
And then, name all the alternative names and then
Exactly.
the disguises.
I know.
Anyway, so we got Alana talking to this guy. We've got Darlin talking to Caroline. And then Rand's like, whoa, not Moraine, but looks like Moraine, but not.
Right.
So, and then also in the background, we have LTT who keeps trying to thumb his ear and starts humming at all the pretty ladies.
And all the pretty ladies.
Yeah. And Rand's like, stop, cut it out. Don't.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic Luce Theron.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
You know, what a guy.
What a creep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just looking through my own eyes at ladies.
Don't you use my eyes? All right. So Darlin is like, hey, Rand, but then looks at Cadsuane.
Yeah. Well, you remember that whole thing.
Okay. Not really. I only know it because in the words on this page, it says that Cadsuane kidnapped him and Caroline.
Yeah, in Kyran. She literally kidnapped the both of them and kept them in the palace.
Was that pretty immediately after the whole stabbing situation? Because
Yeah.
Darlin and Caroline came back with Rand and they didn't know where they went.
Yeah, and then Rand basically went in and was like, go to Tyr. That's where you're going.
I don't
Darlin
remember that
is
at all.
holding
Okay.
he did not like being kidnapped.
No fucking shit.
Which is under, I'm not saying he doesn't have a right to be annoyed, but he just isn't going to give Cadsuane much respect right now. You can't get no respect.
Well, honestly. Good.
I mean, I kidnapped you once and you're like, Brett, don't.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was one time and I thought it was for your own good. Yeah.
All right. So then Rand notices two people here that he did not expect.
I love this.
And he's
okay.
like, what are you doing here? And
I
the
totally
first
forgot all
person
these people. I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I remember High Lord Weiramon
Yes.
as the dumb idiot.
He's the idiot guy, and he's the one who makes bad battle decisions because he's one of the many lords who thinks that foot soldiers aren't worthwhile units. So he's always all about the cavalry charges.
Yeah.
And at one point he was gonna get everyone killed because allegedly because
Well, and wasn't he also kind of trying to get in with the evil Ashaman at one point, or was that something else?
No, that was the Shiva.
Oh, that was the Shiva.
Who was a Forsaken in disguise.
Okay. Oh, right.
Who was trying to get in with the evil Black
But
Tower
Weiramon
guys.
also was kind of part of that whole
Well, he was.
Shanshan battle.
He was because he's one of the idiot guys.
Okay.
But also Weiramon kind of came and did a good job in the battle of Kyrian because he's like, oh, I heard Rand was being attacked, so I came with my soldiers as fast as I could. So he's done good things, but he also doesn't listen to instructions really well at all.
And even in this chapter,
no, he does. He's kind of an idiot,
and he's gonna weasel out of doing what Rand told him to do.
A little bit, he does.
Okay.
And then on the
Tell me who Ayanella is.
Okay, so High Lady Anayella. So in the Shanshin crazy
Did you
battle
have to look
plan,
it up, or did you remember?
No, so she's one of the two A ladies. There was Aelil and Anayella, who were the two A ladies during the Shanshin Rand battle plan when they were skipping through the mountains.
How nostalgic, the A ladies.
The A ladies, yeah. And then that was when Rand surrounded himself with all of his enemies. And then these two A ladies...
Like a smart person.
And then they were totally... When Rand had the thing where he almost died, they were like, should we just murder him? But then Rand was like, don't. And then they didn't murder him.
Right.
Yeah. So
But
anyways.
also because
There was like a comment.
Bashir was there.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff why they shouldn't, but like allegedly they were thinking about maybe trying to get Rand while he was off his.
While he was down.
Yeah, while he was down. So.
But then Bashir showed up.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a chance.
And they're like,
I
okay.
remember A ladies.
So this is one of the ladies. So Rand sent her.
Can you tell me in what book did the Shanshan battle happen?
Path of Daggers. I'm pretty sure it was book 8. I'm like 80% sure.
Or was it
book 8.
like halfway through Winter's Heart, or was that the end of Path of Daggers? Wow, it's so weird to not know what's going on.
It was book 8. Yeah, I'm right. I should trust my gut.
Was it the end of it?
Yeah, it was like near the end. Yeah.
Okay, well anyway, she's here now.
Yeah, so Rand sent these two people, so Wiramon and Anayela. She sent them to Kyrian because they're Terrans and they can't really mess up a bunch of stuff if they're in a different country.
Well, you'd hope not.
You'd hope not, and then they're here because...
What are you doing back here?
They came skipping around and they're like, hey...
we just came anyway.
We heard it was under siege. Well, Wiramon is all like... I love his speech because he always does this big grand like, I heard that you were under siege here, so of course I couldn't leave you, so I had to come as quickly as possible, so haha, here I am.
Yeah, well, and then Alana's pissed off because them showing up messed up the Aes Sedai negotiations.
Yeah, well,
and
they came in. They started killing rebels.
Oh.
In the middle, so Alana and the Aes Sedai are in the middle of like trying to do negotiations between the rebels,
which is very challenging when you suck at negotiating. So I could see why they're frustrated.
Well, and it's like a very non-violent siege right now too. So the Aes Sedai are kind of like just like mediating very lackadaisically again. But, and I mean, they're terrible at it. But then Wiramon, they come in and they start killing rebels, and then it, like, set the negotiations back. It's like, stop killing people. What are we doing?
Yeah, and then that's when Rand is like, I left you in Kyrian because that's where I want you. You gotta go there now.
Go away. And
go back there.
And he thinks, like, ASAP. I'm not even gonna open up a gateway. I'm not gonna waste my energy. You can take a boat back or like a friggin' bus.
I was like, I don't
care.
trust these guys on a boat. Open up a gateway and put them exactly where you want them.
Yeah, boom, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Should.
Yeah, I don't trust them all the way back there.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Don't worry, they're not going there anymore. So.
I know, okay. So then Wiramon tries to argue he's going to serve Rand and he's more effective on his home turf because he knows these rebels and who,
It's like, that's why you're not here is because this is your home turf. That's why you're not here, man.
Because you kind of suck. You always mess up everything. And that's when Rand slams his fist down on his chair.
Yes, this is like his first little fit of rage.
And then that's when Cadsuane says 1.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
The counting
And I was like, no.
And Rand's like, what?
I know. I right away. I was like, no, we're not treating him like a tantruming toddler.
It's like, I've heard moms count to 3 before, and it's like, this is...
Oh my god. I was like, no.
Yeesh.
Okay, it's a yes, but yikes, hey?
Yeah.
I'm like, he's allowed to be mad.
Yeah, I mean,
he's allowed to be mad here.
This is the part where he's like, why don't people listen to me?
Like, he's legitimately, crazy pills. I know. Like, he actually has, this isn't something that, what are you mad at, Rand? Why are you mad now? There's nothing to be angry with, right?
Yeah.
Where he's not like spiraling and working himself up about literally nothing. He's actually upset that these people aren't listening.
Yeah. It's like, you pledged loyalty to me.
He gets to be the ruler. He gets to be the ruler.
Right of conquest. He does have that right. Absolutely. Yeah, and I do like, because Nynaeve starts to tell Wiramon, like, you should go back because he has a bit of a temper.
Well, okay, and I was going to say, good thing Cadsuane wasn't around when he was angry at the High Lords of Tyr last time.
Oh, yeah.
When he, like, lit that thing on fire and, like, threw it at everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was very effective. Sometimes Rand getting angry
puts the fear of death into people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good. I want people to
good
be
thing Cadsuane wasn't around there, like, spanking him. Like,
me.
it's so dumb. Okay.
I know.
All right.
Okay, anyways. So, Nynaeve tries to chip in and be like,
and then Cadsuane's like, stay out of it.
Yeah, it's like she's trying... Okay, I get what's happening here, but I don't have to like it either.
I don't like any of it. So, Wiramon's like, okay, fine. We'll go back to Kyrian. But then later, he's gonna weasel his way out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
and also, little tidbit, food spoiling super fast. It's not good.
Not great.
Yeah.
Now, another Aes Sedai is going to come in and interrupt everybody.
Yes.
And this is Bera.
Yes.
So, Bera is one of the Bobsy twins, right? Like back when we had Bobsy twins.
I think that was
Karuna.
Yeah.
Because we had these pairs of people all over the place, and they
I don't know
only
enough.
went
I don't know the
together.
reference enough. Like, maybe it was them. Like, I don't actually fully understand the Bobbsey twins reference, so I don't actually know if that was them.
No, I don't think it was them, but I think it was around the time when everybody
Sure.
was paired up.
Yeah, so Bera and Karuna were the two that were together all the time. Bera is the one that is in the palm of Rand's hand, so she's one of those sisters. But
Ooh.
Karuna is not one of those. They were originally part of the Saladar embassy. And also, so Karuna is the sister of Paytar Nachiman, who's the king of Arafal.
Oh, I can't keep track of all
Bera's
that.
a green sister. She's got a couple warders. Like, that's basically what you have to know.
Okay.
And she's been around for a while, and now she's here to help in negotiations.
How'd she get here?
Rand sent a bunch of sisters like, yo, go figure out negotiations with the siege. This siege is happening forever. It's been a long time.
Okay.
We heard about the siege a long, long time ago.
I just can't even place the last time we would have even seen her.
Yeah.
Because all of that was happening around Lord of Chaos, around Dubai's Wells time.
Yeah, exactly. Because that was when we had the Saladar embassy, and then like everybody kind of broke up, and then he told Alana like, go away from me now. And then she was like, but I don't want to. And he was like, get out of here. Go with the sisters and go solve this dumb siege that's happening. That's like barely a real siege because they just really don't want Rand in charge.
Oh, that was at the place where no one can channel, or men can't channel, or no one can channel? No one can channel. Where's the place where no one can channel?
Farmatting.
Farmatting. Because that's where Alana was.
Yeah.
That he sent her away.
He's like, get out of here.
Mm.
You got it.
But Bera wasn't there.
No.
Okay.
Well, because he sent her back to Kyrian, and then he was
And
like,
Bera
bring
was
those
in
people.
Kyrian?
Yeah, and he was like, bring these people from Kyrian and then go to Tyr.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was in Kyrian.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Rand at that point was
now
like,
I'm getting it.
he was like, once the Tyr stuff is done, then you can come back to me or something. And he said something along those lines. But
Right.
anyways.
Right. Okay.
So Bera comes in. She's here.
But she's not surprised to see that Rand is here considering, quote, what happened this morning.
Yeah, because again, that's just like a reference to like weird stuff happens when Taviran are around.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. But then she also makes a little bit of a comment that there's like other news that happened today because in quotations, like the others are a day west of the river. So there's people who are coming in close. And then Rand's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Who's close? Who's coming? And Bear's like, all the other High Lords and ladies from Tyr are coming to Tyr as quick as they can. And then Rand starts freaking out again.
And shouting about why can't anyone remember how to obey my orders?
Because he put a bunch of the High Lords and soldiers on the like Tyr Ilian border, like on the Ilian border, because the Shanshan are trying to invade.
Right.
So he's setting up like a defensive perimeter.
Yeah.
And they're all abandoning their
obviously,
posts.
like freaking out and shouting about it right now obviously isn't it isn't helpful.
Yeah.
You probably should control your temper.
But it's also like, why aren't people listening to me?
Like, of course he's mad.
We're gonna get invaded by the Shanshan, and he's trying to set up a thing where he can go negotiate in like literally 2 more days.
Yeah.
With the Shanshan, and be like, "You're on my side, or I'm gonna crush you." But now everybody's like freaking abandoning their posts.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is frustrating.
Yeah.
And then Catswain says 2.
Hate it. Anyways.
And then she says, hey, maybe you should ask her what happened this morning. It sounds like good news.
Which is good, which is true, because Bera did come in and be like, oh, crazy stuff happened this morning. So she does have a point.
Yeah, she does.
Half of what she does, I agree with.
We
half
don't
of it
have to do the counting like he's a toddler. We don't have to do the discipline. But what we can do is distract him like this. Hey, maybe calm down a second. Nobody you can yell at is here right now.
Yeah.
Let's continue our conversation. Like, you can talk to him like he's not a child.
Sure.
Fa.
There you go.
Yeah.
You get it.
Well, she's fawing at the wrong things.
She is.
All right. So Bera tells him the good news, and it's that they've reached an agreement with the rebels.
We did it. Hooray. Hey, you should be celebrating.
Well, the deal is this. The rebels will accept Darlin as steward and Tyr.
Yep.
And that means he's going to be king.
Yeah, I mean, you skipped a couple of things. So all the laws that Rand made, because he changed a bunch of stuff. It's like, don't kill commoners or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, all of that.
All that stuff
like,
is going to stay in place.
Things. Yep.
And then the rebels are going to pay for feeding the city for a full year because that's like a fine for the rebellion. And then in exchange, they get to come back and be High Lords again.
Yep.
We're not going to strip their titles. And then Darlin's crowned king. And then they're going to swear fealty to Darlin instead of Rand. And then Rand freaks out and hurls his cup of wine across the room because he's like, I hate this. They can stay commoners and they can swear to me, not Darlin. Blah.
Right.
And that's when we get
Catswain says 3, and he gets spanked. with the power, hard across the butt. And then she says, don't make me keep reminding you about manners, boy.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind here, just like as an asterisk to all this, like, I'm not saying I agree.
Everything she says is correct. She could say it. She could get his attention without the stupid stuff.
I understand, and I'm on your side. I'm actually not siding with Cadsuane, but I also want to point out the fact that Rand is having uncontrolled fits of rage right now.
Yeah.
Because specifically, even this last one, these things he wanted to happen in the negotiations, these are literally the terms that he was okay with previously, and now he's like, no, hate it.
Yeah.
And that's the point that she's trying to make.
Well, and it works because right away he's like, oh, actually, you're right.
Exactly.
And he calms down.
Yeah.
But not because of the spanking.
Yeah, he's a little bit bonkers. He's a little bit rageful, but I mean, that's to be expected in some situations like this.
Well, and he says that it's because of his upset tummy.
Right. He's got a whole bunch of...
That's part of it. He's
got like
so
7 people in his brain, man.
He has so much going on.
Oh.
He can be a little angry, I guess.
He's trying to save the world.
He's not hitting anybody.
That's true.
It's Cadsuane who's hurting people.
Okay, so are you going to switch sides if Rand starts hurting people?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it.
I mean, I still think that there are reasonable ways to...
It's a very Aes Sedai thing, though. Like, that's literally the way Aes Sedai discipline people.
But that doesn't mean I like it.
No, I'm not saying that you have to like it.
Good.
I don't like it either.
Good, because I'm not going to like it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so eventually he does come around. Those are the terms he wanted. He congratulates Darlin on being the king now.
Yeah.
And then Weirmon's like, oh, hail King Darlin.
He's like the intoner of things. I do love him for it.
Yeah.
Darlin's super shocked, though. He's like, what? Why would they want me? It's like, it's not even that they specifically want Darlin. It's like they don't want Rand.
Yeah.
And like, Darlin's a good intermediary. It's like, well, they can do the mental gymnastics. Like, oh, we'll swear to Darlin. It's fine. And then we don't have to acknowledge Rand, really. And then they can install a bunch of other positions to try to like dilute the power of the king a little bit, because Tyr doesn't have kings.
Yeah.
Or didn't used to, but now it does. So.
Yeah. But then we also get this whole romantic situation.
It's the back and forth.
With Darlin and Caroline, where he's like, do you want me to be king? And she's like, only if I can be queen.
Yeah, well, Min was like, oh, she'll marry you after a merry chase or whatever.
Right, and then they're going to make Darlin a crown based on Min's viewing of him.
Yeah, because Min was like, I can help you with the design because, like, she's seen it.
Yeah. And that's that whole, like, circle prophecy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's literally it.
Yeah.
If I was Min, I would just design it stupid. I just like...
Oh, man. Okay, so Rand finally says, hey, congrats on all of this, but there's more important things going on right now.
Yeah.
And then he starts giving orders, but in more of a calm way, I guess.
Sure.
And then he tells Darlin to accept the crown.
Yeah, like as soon as the rebels negotiate, like there's documentation that needs to be signed, paperwork for the rebels to officially stop the rebellion. Like once that goes through, accept the terms and conditions and become king. Cool.
Okay, and then he says that he can have all the Seanchan arrested who are trying to finance the rebellion.
Yeah, which is interesting because we did get like a little tidbit. We didn't really talk about it, but we had people approaching the rebellion, some of the rebels from Seanchan who were trying to finance the rebellion to continue, which is a really good Seanchan strategy.
That is excellent.
Like
They're so good.
Worming their way in and being like, we'll pay you if you keep it going for a little while longer.
Yeah, because it's really causing turmoil.
Just like it's great. Keep everybody else off of their,
it's why they were able to sweep in on the West Coast, because those countries are in such turmoil anyway.
Yeah. Like it's crazy effective.
They're like, if you're all in turmoil, we can just take you over, no problem.
Way easier.
Yeah,
way easier to take over Tyr if Tyr is in rebellion.
Yes.
Yeesh. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, we should watch out for those Seanchan people.
We should watch out for them.
Yeah.
Huh? I never thought about that before.
Crazy.
All right. So then Rand says every single man in Tyr who knows how to use a weapon needs to get together right now.
Yep.
And then he's going to have a bunch of Ashaman arranged to take them all to Eridoman.
Yes. So, like, get as many soldiers as you can justify. Get them together. We're going to send them to Eridoman because we know that's one of the Seanchan fronts.
Yes. Okay. And then Weirmon is like, hey, can I come along? Can I be involved? I'm going to do a really good job. Can I please come?
I'd rather not be in Kyrian right now.
And then Rand is like, fine.
Okay.
And I'm like, no.
Doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter.
It does it, though.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Is Weirmon a dark friend? Should we watch out?
Sure. If you want to put him on your list, like, do it. Why not?
Although at this point,
Yeah.
He hasn't really been very dark friendly. He's just been annoying and an idiot.
He's just like an ineffectual High Lord.
I know.
Trying to be relevant.
What if he like messes stuff up because he's annoying?
Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't have that much power, so.
I know.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. And then Darlin's like, okay, but why are we going to Eridomin? And then Round's like, well, Tarmogoyf is coming and we got to get ready.
Yeah, it's like, that's where we're going.
It's kind of a secret.
It is a little bit of a secret, but also we know that Rand's checklist is like, I can't fight the Shadow and the Shanshin at the same time.
Yeah.
So step 1, deal with the Shanshin. Step 2, deal with the Shadow.
Okay, cool.
So Tarmogoyf is on the doorstep. Like, we're right here.
Okay.
We are so close.
Yeah, we are.
Get all the people ready. Get all the soldiers.
All
like,
right.
let's do it.
Can I request one thing?
No. You
More
can't.
action, less politics.
No. I already said no.
Well, I did anyway.
Okay.
I'm just putting it out there because anytime I put something out there, sometimes it happens.
That is true.
So.
That is true. That sometimes the things you say happen.
Yeah, ready. Ready for more things to happen, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This wasn't interesting enough.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay. Good. All right, so before you're reminded that a bunch of characters that you forgot about still exist, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani and Brett, and produced with Dani and Brett, with Passion Socks, Cody Fouts, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Megan Smiley, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Charlie Haz, Adam, Marta Thier, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, and Eric Reed, with music by Audionautics. Be sure to check out our Patreon page if you're interested in supporting us and the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merch as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 45 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. Find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show, like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, and how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping other people find us. And tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.